Good morning, and we're going to get right to it with our big story of the day. Tropical storm Ophelia. Wind and rain impacting Hampton Roads and the Outer Banks overnight and this morning, and she's not done yet. Here is a live look outside from Tower Cam 10 above Portsmouth. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Stephanie Hudson, and let's go over to our weather center now, where meteorologist Ricky Matthews and Jeremy Wheeler have been tracking Ophelia all night for us. Guys, we're waking up this morning and wondering, what is it looking like outside, and specifically, what are the flood levels?
Yeah, so we had high tide around 3:30 this morning, Jeremy. The picture you saw there from Tower Cam 10 is right outside our station, and
that's current. Yep.
There's a little bit of a backstopper there, which keeps some of the water from the rain in. So a lot of that is kind of more rainwater, perhaps, than tidal water. But the tide now dropping, so I think as we go through the morning hours, things will be improving a little bit, but still some rain bands on and off.
Yeah, we talked about that before. That now some factor we have to keep in mind is that this backstopper acts like a stopper for the water going down. So we might have some poor drainage around the area on top of what we're seeing out there right now here at WAVY.
All right, so let's dive into what's going to happen today with the tides. We'll go over to the big monitor and show you that we are sitting right now at 4.73 feet, which is just into minor flood category. High tide at Sewell's Point was around 3:30 this morning. Our tide is dropping. Now this afternoon, the tide's expected to get up to 5.3 feet, which is in minor flood stage. Numbers will vary and impacts will vary somewhat across the area. Other locations, a little bit higher water this afternoon as our wind kind of switches direction. It'll be more southeast as we go through the next couple of hours, then eventually turning to a little bit more of a southwesterly direction this afternoon. Right now, we have a north wind to a bit of a northeast wind across the area with some recent gusts around 30 miles per hour. Rain bands continue to rotate through the area, not as heavy, not as widespread as what we saw even last night. The center of Ophelia is just about to make landfall west of Morehead City. It's about 70 miles to the southwest here of Ocracoke, and it'll be making landfall near Emerald Isle over the next about 30 minutes or so, almost imminently here. What does that mean for us? It means that the center will eventually come north. Our wind direction will shift. This afternoon, we're expecting to see some scattered showers, but note the heavier rain is on the western side of this system. So as it translates north, Greenville, eventually Emporia, Surrey, Sussex, Southampton counties, you'll have more rain than parts of Norfolk and Virginia Beach. Officially a 70-mile-per-hour tropical storm from the Hurricane Center. Note future track here through the morning shows these bands rotating in, and we will still need to watch these bands until around midday. We could see an isolated tornado out of one of those individual showers and storms that try to pop up. Something we'll be watching carefully. The other thing we're going to watch carefully this afternoon is the potential for sound side flooding in the Outer Banks. That's where we find 10 on your side's Andy Fox. He braved the wind and rain last night. Looks like you're doing a little bit better this morning, Andy.
Oh, that's right. I was calling Jeremy earlier today at 2:15. I woke up and they're still out. The stars are out. And I said, what's going on? Where is this tropical storm? Stars are out. They're still here. North Star over here. Big Dipper, Little Dipper. But we are keeping a weather eye here. There's no doubt about it. Now, I want to show you video I got yesterday in Rodanthe. This is what they are really concerned about. This is the Pamlico Sound, everyone. So all of the wind has pushed the water out of that part of the Pamlico Sound. Now, you heard Ricky talk about southwesterly winds coming back the other way as the storm is moving northward. And that's what they're worried about. They're worried about all of that water now coming from the southwest, gushing back in, which could lead to could lead to storm surge, certainly flooding on the streets down in the villages, Rodanthe, Waves, Salvo. Now that video was from Rodanthe, so that's something that we're keeping a weather eye on, and that certainly is very dramatic. People were out getting pictures of it yesterday, but when you hear them talking about Pamlico Sound and flooding and the water leaving the sound and then coming back, that's exactly what they're talking about. We're saying could, we aren't saying that it will happen, that there will be this storm surge or anything, but it could happen, and that's Rodanthe, Waves, and Salvo, and those are areas that we are looking at. Now, I'm here with photographer Chris Wynn. We're on the back deck of Comfort Inn. We will have more for you coming up today at 6:30 in just about a half hour. But before we do that, my colleague Maria is standing by live in Norfolk, I believe at The Hague. Maria, good to see you out there. How things going?
Hey, Andy. Yeah, we are at The Hague. We're right outside of a 7-Eleven on Bush Street, which is off of Virginia Beach Boulevard. And we know that this area is used to flooding, and the tidal flooding is here. It's right behind me. You see that this road is covered. Now, I was told by some 7-Eleven employees that this black car over here was trying to drive through. They didn't make it or couldn't make it through, so they just parked right there. And then there's this white car right there. These aren't parking spots. They are right there on the road. I'm assuming they're waiting for the flooding to go down so they can safely move their cars. And we have been seeing people trying to get through. They're booking it to try to go through fast. Some are slowing down and trying to go through slowly, and others are playing it safe and they're just turning around. So let's go into it, and I have my handy dandy measuring tape to see how high the floods are right now. So this is the grass. This is the sidewalk, and the street is down there, so I am not on the street. I'm still in a relatively safe part. And let's see, I'll have my photographer Cortez zoom in to see where we're at right now. It looks like it's about 3 inches right now of flood waters. At some parts, they were around 7 inches, so the water has been decreasing. If we were to pan down there, it's going to be hard to kind of show you all because it is so dark out there. There was water that was all around this area earlier, but it has been reclining a little bit as well. So we're going to have more. We're going to be monitoring the conditions here at The Hague throughout the rest of the morning. Live in Norfolk, I'm Maria Bray, 10 on your side.